What's up, guys? It's Mike, the Smokin Monkey. I'm back. I know it's been a minute. I haven't posted in a little bit, and we've been waiting for parts. I've been waiting for parts to fix the Jeep, to fix the axle bracket, and I've also been waiting for my drag link, or not the whole drag link, but the tie rod end, the inner tie rod end that connects the drag link to the tie rod. And I've also been waiting for paint so we could do some rust repair. Luckily, the paint arrived, and I got a date to go take my to go take my Jeep into the shop. I will be taking it in on the 11th, so less than a week from now we will be taking it to the shop, and we will be back out on the trails, messing it up and going back and repairing it again. But we will be back out on the trails, and we'll be having a good time, and we should be out there soon. I am still planning to do a meetup for all of my subscribers, so if you guys do still want to do a meetup and do a trail day and just a meet and greet, let me know. I'm still interested to do that, but I don't have a date for you guys just yet. I will give you a date as soon as I have a little bit more information and I have my Jeep back, because I don't want to set something up and not be able to make it. So let me know who's interested. I'm still willing to do something like that. I am planning to do it probably up in Ardbeg, where I did that last video where there's all those rocks and all that fun stuff to get into. But definitely, guys, watch out for that video and let me know if you'd be interested for something like that. But today we are going to start some rust repair. My paint finally showed up, so it's time to go down there and fix up the rust that's on the passenger side underneath the door. I don't know if you'd call that the rocker panel or what, but the side of the tub there. We also have to take off the flares in the back. So I'm going to take those off, and I'm going to take the whole thing off to see exactly how bad it is behind there. Because if I need to paint behind it, there's no point of me just taking off a little bit and not seeing the rust that's in there, because we're trying to prevent the tub from rusting away on us. It is a 20-year-old Jeep after all. So what we're going to do is take off the wheel flares in the back, or the fender flares I should say. We're going to take off the fender flares in the back, then we're going to see if there's any kind of rust or anything underneath there. If there is, I'll clean it up with the grinder. We'll spray it with some new paint and we'll clean that up and have it sealed. Then we'll throw the wheel arches. I don't know why I keep calling them wheel arches, but the fender flares back onto the wheel arch, and then we'll paint that section underneath the door. I don't want to go too far up because I don't really like the look of the way it looks. I kind of like the way it looks all yellow, but at the same time, if I don't paint it today, it's gonna rust away, and pretty soon it's gonna be brown, not yellow, and then it's just gonna rust all the way through, and then there's not gonna be anything there at all. So I rather save the Jeep, paint it black for now, and maybe eventually once we fix all the rust underneath and we fix the mounts and everything, maybe we'll do a full coat of paint on the Jeep and get it looking fresh again, and then we'll take care of that black spot and get some actual rock sliders or something like that. Because today we're kind of gonna do mock sliders. They're gonna look like rock sliders, but they're not rock sliders. And the reason I'm not getting rock sliders today is because I'm still waiting to fix those mounts. Those mounts, as you guys saw, were a little bit rotted out still. So we need to go down there, fix the mounts, and then we'll be able to do the rock sliders. So let's go down, rip the fender flares off, and see what we're dealing with. And then we'll sand everything down and get it sealed up and painted. All right, so we're gonna rip off, or take off, the fender flares. I'm gonna unbolt them so I can put them back on. And we're gonna be painting the side here. As you can see, there's a bit of rust starting over here. Over here, it's already starting to bubble out a bit. So before it gets all the way through, let's actually sand it all down, and we'll hit it with gravel guard, so it will be black in this section. But I think what we need to do is take the fender flares off completely and see if there's any rust hiding behind them, because if there is, then we can take care of that while we're here and paint it all up. Now I know there's a bit of rust starting over here. I don't think I'm going to be touching that just yet, because I do want to address the entire corner here, and we're going to do that all as one piece. So I don't want to get into painting this and this and this and that. So I think we're going to just do one piece today, and that being under the flares and over there. Then we'll move slowly around the Jeep and get everything. And here is why I hate fender flares. As you guys can see, lots of rust. Rust here, 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 here. Swiss cheese. Like real Swiss cheese. So now you can see there's even rust right up to the line. Like that's rust. That's not dirt. Right up to the line of where the fender flare was. So back here, I might actually go right up to that line. I'll obviously do a new tape line, but I'm thinking I might have to go right up to that line. And it is what it is at this point. If it sticks out a little bit of black at the back here, I'm not really gonna mind if it sticks out past the fender flare, but I rather not have that Swiss cheese happened on this corner. So we're gonna sand everything down and paint it. And you guys can see in here, that line right there, all the way around, that like bed liner looking stuff, that is the gravel guard. That's the stuff that I'm going to be using, and you can see it's been protecting the inside of the wheel well really well. It doesn't come off, and with all this stuff, like all the mud and rocks and all the crap that this thing goes through, it's amazing that this stuff holds up as well as it does, which is why I've been waiting for this exact paint. That's what I'm going to be using over here. That's what I'm going to be using over here, and I think it should be good. Honestly, it's been performing really well there. I painted my skids with it, I painted my frame with it, I painted underneath the floors with it. Even though there's not much floors left, it still kind of helps preserve what's there, and it is a rust stop paint, so we should be good. Now let's go. Let's sand all of this down, and after I sand this side down, I'll rip off the other side and we'll sand that side down. And there we have it. Now, I know I'm probably doing a little bit overkill by going all the way down to the metal, but at least now I know there won't be any rust coming back. And all of these areas you guys saw came out pretty good. There's no rust visible anywhere, not even on the Swiss cheese over here. Swiss cheese came out pretty good too. And this whole piece back here is rotted, so I'm probably just gonna end up removing that or just tearing it out. But I will coat all in here, in behind here, and in here. And I went and left a little bit extra room. Like I said, I was gonna leave like a finger width, so that's what we did. And we left that little bit of paint all the way around, except for here where the rust was actually really bad. Now we'll be able to actually paint it and not see the paint line behind the fender flare. And I already called it. My battery is dead, both of them. But if you guys were wondering what I was using these quick strip discs. So it ends up, well, it starts off looking like this. This one was purple to start with, and it ends up looking like this, basically however you want to contour it. But it works really well to take off paint and rust. As you guys can see, there isn't much anything left anywhere, just bare metal. And it honestly comes off really quick, and it doesn't really eat into the metal. It leaves you a nice smooth surface. You don't have to worry about sanding or Bondo or anything like that after. So I think it works great. I'm gonna use the same thing over here, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, because I'm not a body shop guy, so I don't know what I should use, but I'm definitely starting to like this grinder. This is quickly becoming my favorite tool that I just recently got. And yeah, if only the batteries lasted a little bit longer. They are only the 2 amp hours, so I'm not expecting the world, but yeah. Let's go and let's charge up the batteries, come back, and finish grinding. Alright, both of the batteries are charged, and I taped up this side a little bit better now so that we're ready to actually go with the paint. You can see the tape line actually hugs the contour of the fender flare right now. There is a little bit right there that I went too far with the grinding, so I will have to just say it is what it is and have a little bit of paint there. Here, that's the lighter colored tape that you're seeing, so that part will be painted. I mean, that part won't be painted, but this part will. So there will be a little bit of black sticking out there, which I don't really mind. And coming over here, our paint line will be here. And we're gonna start grinding this entire section. I figured we might as well do one side at a time. So let's keep grinding all the way down. And I know I wasn't sure, but looking at different pictures of rock sliders and stuff online, they all come up to this section up here at least. So I'm not really gonna worry that I'm painting it too far. If anything, it might stick out like a little 1/4 inch or so once I'm done, once I get my rock sliders. It's not a big deal. So right now I removed the front fender flare bolts, the bottom two here, just so I can get a look inside, and this one's not too bad. It is starting to wear and lose paint, but I have another plan for this fender flare. So for today, we're just gonna go up to here, paint all of this in here. So let's get to grinding, get this nice and clean, just like over here. And we should be good to paint. And you can see there's that one piece I went a little too far with, but it is what it is. Let's go. Let's scuff this all up, or let's take it all off, I should say, because we're gonna go right down to the metal like we did over there, and let's prep it. Then after, I'll take off my fake tape line, because I made a second tape line. As you guys can see, the real tape line is inside, so this is just to give me that extra little bit of room so I don't grind right up to the tape where I want to paint, and I don't mess up my paint line. So yeah, after I'm done grinding, I'll remove this and it'll look kind of like this. We'll have that little bit of room, and what I think I'm going to do is come back in here with a Scotch pad just to give it a little bit of like a rough surface, kind of like I tried to do over here, just so that it actually has a good hold on the paint and the paint wants to stick to it. So let's go and let's finish up. But you can see even the Swiss cheese here, I tried to break off a couple pieces, but it doesn't really want to break off. It's all metal. So for now I'm gonna leave it, but I might just cut off this one piece right here after. Not too sure yet. We'll see. I might just come in with the cutoff wheel and give it a little zip just so that it's good. But at the same time, I want to keep the corner, just so that I know where the corner was, so that when we go to rebuild or redo this side, we know exactly how far to go. But then again, we might also cut it a little bit just so I have clearance for bigger tires. But we'll see when the time comes. For now, let's get grinding and let's finish this side. So there's pretty much one battery right there, not too bad. Got a little section left. I'm gonna throw the other battery in and we'll clean it up real quick. Only piece that really gave me trouble was over here where it was smooshed in, but it's okay. I think that we will be able to sand down those few little pieces that are left in there with some sandpaper by hand. This big piece of rust didn't go through, but it did bubble up, so it is pitted a little bit, but we'll see if we can even that out. And let's go, let's finish off the rest. Looking pretty damn good though. Have to say that I think the paint job will come out a lot better now than if I didn't take it all the way down to the metal, because there was a lot of spots that were starting to rust underneath that you couldn't really see until you started taking the paint off. Not too bad. You can see that it does take off quite a bit of material at a time, and these wheels actually work great. They take off a lot of paint at one time. They're like a paint eraser. So it works awesome. I'm super happy with the tool and the wheels, but it is taking a little bit of time. I've been here probably doing this part for half an hour now, and it took me about an hour to do the wheel arch. It's not too bad, but we're almost done. Let's go, let's finish off this last stretch, and let's prime it. That just came off my face. Yeah. It's pretty dusty in here. As you can see, I'm covered. My watch is covered. Everything is covered. And that being said, I'm gonna go get a broom and I'm gonna sweep this up. The whole entire thing, the mud, the dust, everything, because I don't want to be kicking it up and I don't want it to be spreading and I don't want it to get onto the paint when we paint it. So everything is nice and good to go. I pretty much ground down that as much as I could. There's a little bit of rust in there, but I have a rust stop primer that I'll be using that will take care of that. This over here, I think I'm gonna cut out or just bend off or something. Maybe we can just twist it off right now just so it's not flaking away, but there's still some rigidity there. And there's a piece or pliers or something, but I guess that'll be all right for now. We'll cut off these two little ears with pliers, but we got pretty much everything. This section came out pretty good. This rust spot, not too bad either. This one and this one are the two ones that I was worried about, and they weren't as bad as I thought. The rest looks pretty good. Now, nothing left to do but to tape off the few rock lights that I've got underneath here and then tape off the rest. But we can take off our grinding buffer. And when I come back with the broom, I'm gonna grab a Scotch pad and just rough this all up so that we can actually paint it and the primer sticks to it. Everything is masked off. Now I've got some alcohol and I'm just gonna rub down quick all the parts that we're gonna paint just to make sure there's no contaminants, no moisture, no dust, nothing like that. And we'll hit it with the primer. I also grabbed a pair of pliers and picked out the Swiss cheese over here. So now you can see not too much left, but it is what it is. This piece doesn't really want to come out, so I'm thinking I might try to get it out, but at the same time it's still attached in here in like two spots, so it's a little bit hard for me to wiggle it out of place. But actually I think I almost got it. Yeah, so now I think we should be ready to hit it with the primer. Okay, first layer of primer is set. Nice and dry now. We can actually touch it and see any imperfections. Like you can see a little bit of divots there, but overall it looks pretty good. The rust is covered pretty good. It's cracking a bit there, but nothing's loose. So I think what we're just gonna do is coat that a couple more times to try to even it out. Same with this one. And yeah, hopefully this paint line doesn't show up too much. I did try to sand it as smooth as I can. You can see there's a little line here, but I think once we put the gravel guard on, it's pretty thick. We should be able to smooth everything all out and you won't be able to tell, but it is already getting better. You can't really see the line in every spot, I should say. It is getting a lot better. And I forgot to cover this guy up for the beginning of spraying the primer, so I did get a little primer on my Fender flare here, so I think I might have to sand it down after to get it black again. Not a big deal, but let's go. Let's hit it with the second stage. And I just want to say, anybody that does body work for a living, you guys probably don't get enough recognition or thanks, but this is really time consuming, and yeah, it just takes a hell of a lot of time, a lot of labor. It's dirty, so yeah, I just want to say, whoever does body work out there, kudos to you, because this shit ain't easy. And my can does keep getting like clogged or stuck on me, I don't know why. So hopefully it lasts this session, but I have another can if this one craps out on me.
there's round 2 of primer. Looking really nice. I think that I'm only gonna need to touch up a couple spots like here and here, but other than that, it's looking pretty good. Alright, it is the next day and we are looking good. Everywhere looks like it got primed nice, and that area in there, it's okay. I'm gonna hit that with gravel guard anyway, but I'm pretty sure that's dirt, so it's probably just gonna flake off. But regardless, anything that got oversprayed in the wheel wells will come off, or it'll get sprayed black. And the rust spots came out pretty good. They're not flat, but they are pretty good. So once we actually hit it with the gravel guard, it should even it out pretty nice. The only other thing I'm worried about is that line right there from where I left the paint. You can't really feel it, but you can kind of see it. So I'm hoping that the gravel guard evens that out. But I guess only time will tell. So let's go, let's hit it. I got a couple cans here with me. This is the stuff I'll be using. It is Worth gravel guard. You guys can see it is made for like tumblers and rocker panels and stuff like that. And yeah, let's go, let's hit it, and let's see how it comes out. So after the first coat, you can see there, it does have sort of a textured finish. It's kind of like halfway between a bed liner and like a black paint. It does have sort of like a wrinkle effect to it, which I really don't mind. It helps with the durability, and it does hide that line there pretty good. Like, you don't really notice it. I think after a few more coats, it'll look even better. You can see over here, it's almost gone. And once we take the tape off, because now you can see the tape line, it'll look pretty good, because that's the tape line there. The other line is at the bottom, so you can see it does hide it pretty well. I did get a little bit of splatter right there, but I think we'll be able to fix that by just going over it a few times. And there is a bit of splatter over here, but that's all right. It is what it is. At the end of the day, that's why I'm doing one side at a time, so I can learn and I can do the other side a little bit better, because I'm going to be seeing that side a lot more often. So for now, I think it's good. I'm going to let this flash off, and then I'm going to come back, hit it with another couple coats, and should be good to go. Just did my second coat, and you guys can see this stuff is like rubber. It like literally hardens up on the valve. Like, it's, yeah. But that's the good stuff. When it does harden, it hardens rock hard, and you can see it is looking pretty good. It looks almost like a bed liner, but it's not. You can see it does build up quite a bit. Some of the holes are even getting plugged, but that's fine. I'll hit that with a self-tapping screw and it'll come right out. I put a little bit extra on our Swiss cheese over here, but you can see the texture from here. It looks almost like a bed liner, and I did that by holding the can a little bit further back to get a little bit more of like a splatter. You can see some spots, if I come a little bit too close, it does get a little bit uneven looking, but not to worry. I'm gonna hit this with one more coat and it'll hit everything nice and evenly, because now I know the technique, and it is nice and thick now. You can see covered up that line pretty damn well. I don't think we're gonna be able to see anything once we take it off. I think it should look pretty good, and I guess now we're just gonna wait a couple minutes for it to flash off. I'll hit it with the last coat and we'll be good to go. But I've already used 2 cans, so I got 1 left here, and I've also got 3 more to do the other side, so we should be good. Well, there we have it. Like I said, I'm not a body man, I'm not the best, but I'm sure it'll look pretty good once it dries. This part doesn't look the best, but this part I got pretty damn even. As you can see, there's no blotchiness. There's like one little spot here, but other than that, I think we did really well. And you can see the unevenness in the metal a bit with the light. There's a little bulge over here somewhere for some reason. Maybe it because it went up over here, it bulged out here, I don't know. But you can see it does look almost like a bed liner. It's got that same kind of little crinkle texture. And once it's fully dry, it should look great. Now, it does take about 12 hours to cure. And I don't know if I'm gonna wait the full cure time to pull off all the paint, and all the tape, because I wanna give you guys kind of like a finished product look. But at the same time, I don't wanna drag this video on forever, and I haven't let out a video for you guys in over a week. So what I'm pretty much gonna do is wait probably a few hours, see how it looks. If it looks dry enough to take the tape off, I'll take the tape off. I'm not gonna throw the fender flare on because I don't want it to mess it up. I want it to fully cure before I do anything. But at least I'll be able to give you guys an idea of what it looks like when I take the tape off. So I'll catch up with you guys shortly. Let's just wait for this to cure a bit. And we did go through 3 full cans. So hopefully it gives us a nice thick coating. Okay guys, we're gonna go pull the tape off, moment of truth, but I took my fender flare upstairs to clean it off and just to get it nice and ready to get put back on. And I figured out a great way to actually get them back to black. If you look at this fender flare and this one, there's quite a difference there. And it's not dirty or dusty, because you can see even if I move a little bit of the dirt or dust, it's not anywhere near what this one looks like. And what did I do? I did not use a heat gun. I actually used something that you have around the house and something that pretty much everybody has. And it comes out super easy, super quick. This took me about 30 seconds to do the entire fender flare. And you can see here, no residue comes off on your hands, nothing, nothing. There's no residue, it's just clean. So if you want to see how I did that, I posted a short video on my channel. It was a minute long, so it's a quick video. I posted it today, so for you guys it'll be yesterday. But definitely I'm going to do the rest of my fender flares, and the results speak for themselves. Like, look at that. So definitely check that video. Let me know what you guys think, and drop me a comment and let me know if it worked for you guys. But I'm going to be doing all the black plastics. I'm going to be doing this, that, everything all around that needs it. And I might even go and try to do it on here and see how it comes out, just to see, because why not? Now that's a sexy paint line. Damn good. Now you gotta remember, this section is gonna have the fender flare right here, so you won't really be able to see this. The only reason I'm not putting the fender flare on right now to mock it up for you guys is it mounts into these holes before I even put the screws in. It just uses these as kind of like a guide. And just because it's not fully cured yet, it's only been about 11 hours and it takes 12 to 17 to cure. So I don't want to play with putting it up there and risk damaging the finish. But at least now we can see it came out pretty damn good. I'd say I'm pretty satisfied with it. And it is already dry, like you can see I can touch it. It doesn't get on my hands, but it is not completely ready. So I will give it a little bit. That's why I'm not mounting the front fender flare there yet either. And I'm gonna wait for a little bit just to let it cure properly. And then tomorrow morning we'll be able to actually go in, mount everything up, and have it look as it should. If only I had my own garage to work in and not an underground garage, I think I'd be able to get a little bit more done, just a bit. But gotta work with what you got. And honestly, I think it came out awesome. The paint line looks great. It's not too thick, so you can see there is a little bit of a lip there, but it's perfect. And you don't see that line anymore where I left a little bit of paint. It pretty much covered it all up as I thought it would. and honestly, I am super happy with the finish. I think it looks great, and I think I went up just far enough. I didn't go up right to the door. You can see there's still a bit of yellow there, but I'm happy. I know the Jeep is still filthy. I will be cleaning it this week because I will finally get it to the shop and get everything fixed that needs to get sorted out. But right now, we're looking a whole lot better. And back here, it almost looks like I've got a cut fender. It just kind of blends in now, but it looks great. I know that the paint line's not perfectly round over here, and there is a little bit of like residue or whatever left over. So you can see here where the primer crept out a little bit past the black. It's not that bad, not a big deal, because you know how we left that little bit of yellow. So I know that that's not bare metal, so I'm not worried about that. And once we do get the flare on there, we're not going to be able to see any of this. It will look pretty much even, just yellow and fender flare. So should be good to go. It's a little bit soft. I think I might be able to mock up the fender flare really quick just to see how it would look, but I don't know if I can mount it. So let me grab it for you guys. So it's gonna sit something like that. And you can see, if we go all the way around, you don't see any of the black. Here you can see a tiny bit, but as soon as we push it up against the actual Jeep and we'll have the screws holding it in, then you won't see anything. So I think we did a pretty good job masking it. And even down here where I was worried we might see it, it's gonna be covered. So I think we're good to go. So here is sort of the finished product. I think it looks pretty good. Like I said, I still need to wash the Jeep, and I still need to do that one so that it looks as good as this one, but damn, I'm satisfied. I think we're gonna call that a day. I'm satisfied with the results. Next, we're gonna have to do the other side. So if you guys wanna see just how bad the other side is underneath here, stay tuned for that, because I will be doing that tomorrow. But it is already after midnight, so I gotta go edit this video for you guys so I could post it for tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna go wrap this one up and post this one for you guys in the morning, and then I'll tackle that side tomorrow morning, which is Saturday. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for coming out. And if you guys are new around here, jump down there, hit that subscribe button, leave me a like, drop me a comment, let me know what you guys enjoyed, and let me know what mods you guys want to see, because I'm still gonna be doing tons of mods to this thing, and off-roading it and testing it and changing it and consistently just making it better, because if you know me, I'm gonna break stuff, and we're gonna have to replace it. And usually when I replace it with something better. So for now, let's do what we can until we get those control arms in this week. Then we're gonna hit the road. Finally, we'll be able to get it moving and hit some trails, do some other mods, and get the few other things that I need to replace, because I still need to address some things like that valve and a few other things. So definitely stay tuned for that, guys, because we will be hitting some trails soon and we will be back out on the road. So hopefully you guys will be there with me. And until then, ride safe out there, guys. Peace.